song. I'm sitting on top of the world.
My name's Michelle Furr. I'm the campus manager and director here at Como Park Zoo and Conservatory. And today we celebrate the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory. Today we celebrate the opening of the new Centennial Garden, which is honoring the 100th year of the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory. Frederick Nussbaumer, who was the superintendent of Como Park in the late 1800s, really was the campaigner for the conservatory. He first asked the park board for greenhouses for his number of plants that he was looking to house. And in records, in 1891, actually asked for an addition for what they had noted as the new, now big plants in the park, which we can only assume are the banana plants and palms that you saw as you walked up the walk today that we've added as part of our celebration. Since that first construction, Nussbaumer had been harboring the idea of a single conservatory, a crystal palace like the dome marvels around the world to shrine his sparkling floriculture at his park. In addition, his crystal palace was the ideal site for educating students in the basics of horticulture. In 1913, he won the approval of the Parks Board to pay $50 for the general set of plans, and later that year they spent $58,000 to build the construction of the conservatory. On Sunday, November 17th, 1915, the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory opened its doors for the first time to over 3,000 visitors. This year, the conservatory, as it turns 100, will charm nearly 2 million annual visitors, all while being free for admission. In 1974, the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory was placed on the National Registry of Historic Places, and today its national reputation continues to grow. Just next week, Como will welcome 800 of our professional peers in the horticulture industry through the American Public Garden Association's annual conference. This weekend, we kick off 6 months of celebration for the first 100 years of the opening of the conservatory and the new Centennial Garden that commemorates this anniversary. The garden was designed as a traditional European landscape garden similar to what drew crowds to Como Park in the late turn of the century. The new Centennial Garden will serve as a landmark to remember all the community members who have made the past 100 years possible, along with being a place to welcome the next 100 years of visitors. The Centennial Garden is being made possible with private donor support through Como Friends, Como's nonprofit partner, along with Minnesota Legacy Amendment Arts and Cultural Heritage Funds. Thank you to everyone who's made this happen. Without great community and supporters, there is no telling how the last 100 years may have gone. And one of those supporters I'm going to ask to speak with us today is Mr. Greg McNeely.
Growing up, Mom would always say good morning, so I want to get that going. Como Friends has been a mainstay, and in the last 13 years, it's contributed $33.5 million. And this place is very special, as we all know, and that's why we're here. It's a private-public connection, and everybody contributes. Everybody loves this place, and that's why it's still going. I had a thought last night. We had a little effort here, and thanking some of our donors. And when I walked away, I was one of the last to leave, and then I walked in front of the conservatory. I realized, you know, what a magical place this is and how beautiful it is. And I saw the sun setting on the trees and looking down the gorge. It's amazing. It's like a wake-up call when you walk around here, because then you know why you care about it so much. My family's been involved for 13 years. I'm lucky enough to be the spokesperson, and it's been a very rich and wonderful relationship. And it's not going away. 100 years, when you think about 100 years, it just keeps rolling. And we're part of the section right now for that 100 years, and then it will pass on to other people. But it's important that we do what we can do while we're on board. And it's our time now to celebrate this place. I'd like to thank the Minnesota State Legislature. Alice Hausman is here. She's been non-bending. She's always been there for us, and I just think the world of her. Also, the Arts Cultural Heritage Fund, Gordon and Margaret Bailey Fund, Geraldine and Anna Harrison, and the Toro Corporation. And everybody who works here, all our volunteers, you got a good gig. You're lucky to be here. So, but on behalf of Como Friends, thanks for being here today, and enjoy the day. Thank you.
Senator Al Franken wanted to be here today but couldn't because he's so busy at the Capitol, but had sent some remarks that I just want to share a little segment from. For 100 years, the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory has stood as a St. Paul institution of education and beauty for the entire community to appreciate. Thousands of visitors have enjoyed the opportunity to see both the finest of Minnesota's horticulture as well as be given the opportunity to visit far-off places and take in scenery of the tropics and beyond. Furthermore, the new Centennial Garden will recognize the unique history of Como Park while moving forward with new spaces for children and families to take in, learn from, and enjoy. So I want to thank Senator Al Franken for sending those remarks. Undertakings such as funding and constructing the Centennial Garden rely on active involvement of community leaders, and I'd like to recognize some of the following. First, Como Friends, their board and their staff, along with Greg and his family. Senator St. Paul Mayor Chris Coleman and City Council members. Parks Director Mike Hom. We already mentioned Representative Alice Hausman. We also have Commissioner Janice Rettman here with us today. Our entire state legislative contingency for their continued support of Como Park Zoo and Conservatory, making this statewide asset a free treasure for future generations to explore and enjoy. Also, again, the staff of the Marjorie McNeely Conservatory, Tina Dombrowski, our horticulture manager, and her entire team. And Como's real heart is on our volunteers that have given so much time over the last 100 years, so we want to thank them for their time. I'm now going to ask a couple of our guests to come up with help us with the ribbon cutting. So if Greg and Representative Hausman, Nancy Nelson, the board chair for Como Friends, if you can come up and help us cut the ribbon so that we can officially call this an open garden. We have a number of activities and events planned for the weekend, so we hope that you can make it out. 1, 2, 3. The Centennial Garden is now officially open. Thank you everyone for coming.